The international discourse surrounding political violence has been aggressively co-opted by the Russian government, which is leveraging recent tragedies to advance its geopolitical objectives and deepen divisions within Western democracies. Former Russian president and current high-ranking security official Dmitry Medvedev has launched a blistering rhetorical offensive publicly blaming the West and the Ukrainian government for what he characterized as a surge in political assassination. In a series of incendiary statements carried on Russian state-controlled media, Medvedev explicitly cited the recent killing of American conservative activist Charlie Kirk in Utah and the earlier attempted assassinations of Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico as direct consequences of Western policies. His language was deliberately provocative and dehumanizing, describing Western liberals as scums who actively support what he termed Banderite Kiev, a derogatory reference linking the modern Ukrainian government to Second World War-era Ukrainian nationalist Stepan Bandera, a frequent target of Russian propaganda. This rhetoric is not merely commentary, it is a calculated information operation designed to create a specific narrative framework through which these events are interpreted globally. Medvedev remarks included explicit warning that more such violent incident may follow, a statement interpreted by intelligence analysts as both a threat and an attempt to prepare the global information space for potential future operations, whether real or fabricated. This Kremlin-directed narrative emerged in near lockstep with the initial political reactions within the United States. The labeling of Kirk's death as a political assassination by Utah's governor provided a veneer of factual basis that Russian propaganda machines quickly exploited. While U.S. leaders from both parties uniformly condemned the killing, they notably avoided attributing it to any foreign influence, focusing instead on the domestic context of political polarization. The Kremlin's immediate and forceful intervention to inject a foreign policy dimension into the event is a textbook example of its hybrid warfare doctrine. By conflating a domestic American tragedy with the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, Moscow seeks to achieve several strategic aims simultaneously. First, it aims to deflect from its own extensive history of alleged extraterritorial assassinations and political violence, a subject that has drawn renewed scrutiny from international bodies. Second, it seeks to reinforce its long-standing claim that the Ukrainian government is a terrorist regime, a narrative used to justify its own invasion and continued military aggression. Third, and perhaps most significantly, it represents a concerted effort to poison the well of public discourse in the United States and Europe, amplifying existing societal fracture and eroding trust in democratic institutions. The timing and content of Medvedev's message suggests a highly coordinated strategy overseen by the highest level of the Russian security apparatus. The decision to use Medvedev, a figure who often delivers the Kremlin's most bellicose and unrestrained message, signals an intent to be deliberately choking and to dominate the news cycle. His remarks were carefully crafted to resonate with specific audience, both to a domestic Russian population, where it reinforced state propaganda about a decadent and violent West, and to select audience abroad, including far-right and far-left constituencies in Europe and America already skeptical of their own governments. The ultimate goal is to normalize the idea of political violence as an inevitable outcome of Western liberalism, thereby morally equating isolated incidents in democratic nations with the systemic violence of authoritarian regimes. This strategy of moral relativism is a core tenet of Russian information warfare designed to demoralize opposition and create a cynical apathy that prevents coherent international response to aggression. Furthermore, the exploitation of these events serves to muddy the waters for intelligence agencies and the public alike. By introducing a flood of contradictory narratives and conspiracy theories, the Kremlin creates a fog of uncertainty that makes it difficult to ascertain the true fact of any situation. This chaos is itself a strategic asset. In the case of the Kirk assassination, even the mere suggestion of a potential foreign link, however baseless, forced U.S. authority to divert investigative resources to explore that possibility and compel public officials to address and deny the allegation, thus keeping the Kremlin's narrative alive. This tactic is a form of political jiu-jitsu, using the open nature of democratic societies against them. The free press, obligated to report on the allegation from a significant world figure, becomes an unwitting amplifier for Kremlin's propaganda, while the requirement for government transparency forced officials to publicly discuss and debunk claims they would otherwise ignore. The long-term implications of this strategy are profoundly concerning. By systematically linking unrelated acts of violence to a grand anti-Western conspiracy, the Russian government is working to shape a global environment where political violence is increasingly expected and legitimized. This not only threatens the safety of public figures worldwide, but also destabilizes the international order by breaking down shared norms against political assassinations. The Kremlin's intervention following the killing of Charlie Kirk is therefore not a simple opportunistic statement. It is a deliberate and dangerous escalation in its ongoing information war against democratic nations, an attempt to transform a tragic American crime into a weapon for undermining the very foundations of its political system. That's all for me for today. If you like the video presentation and you would like to follow for more, hit that subscribe and like button now, and we will continue to build this show for you. Thank you to all of you guys who have subscribed. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much. I will see you soon. Bye for now.